I want to quickly talk to you about a massive business loan from FUNDBOX. $150,000 maximum approval. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Studio Q Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you are to ask me, if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about an enormous business loan from FUNDBOX. Maximum loan amount $150,000. Before I actually start the actual conversation, please understand that this video is purely instructional and educational. We have no relationship, no association with FUNDBOX. We have not been paid to make this video. It's very clear. So we're just doing this because we found this business loan in our research, and we thought it might make sense to share the info with you. Let me give you the loan facts here. So first, when we speak about a massive business loan from FUNDBOX, we have two types of loans. So we have a business term loans and business line of credit. The amount up to $150,000. Pretty cool. The APR will oscillate between 4.99% to 19.99%. There are no fees, and the term is kind of low. You're looking at 12 to 24 weeks, and the time to funding up to 48 hours. And there are no extra conditions. What we love with FUNDBOX is that it's a streamlined process. You can do everything within 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes. But once you do that, it's straightforward. You get pre-qualified for the amount, so there is no hard pull. And if you are happy with the loan offers, then the lender will actually proceed and actually do a hard pull. Remember that FUNDBOX is not a loan marketplace. They are a direct lender, and so the payment process is simpler with them. We'll love also the reporting capabilities that they have. They have a dashboard that is pretty straightforward. It tells you how much you have, how much you qualify for, how much you have borrowed, and how much you have left to repay. So this is pretty cool. All of this puts you, the borrower, in a very strong position. And in terms of qualification, their requirements are very minimal also compared to other lenders we have reviewed on this show. So they want you to be based in the United States, makes sense. They want you to have a minimum FICO score of 600. They want you to have an annual revenue of a minimum of $100,000. You got to have a business checking account, and ideally, they want you to be in business for at least 6 months. So this is pretty cool. Those are not deal breakers if you really think about it. I want to talk to you now about the lender at a glance. Let me give you some kind of information about this lender. And this is a lender that's been around for a while, and we love them. And FUNDBOX, they have been in business for the last 10 years, nearly 10 years. They actually were founded in 2013, so it's been close to 10 years now. And originally, what they were doing, they were actually focusing on invoice financing and line of credit. And lately, they have diversified. So this is pretty cool. So they are open to not only they will lend you, they will approve lines of credit, business lines of credit, but also business loans. Remember, folks, we're talking here about a massive loan from FUNDBOX, $150,000. That's the maximum amount. Okay, this is important to have that in mind because everything else will actually revolve around that amount. I'm not saying you should necessarily borrow that much, but it's good to know the potential is there. Okay, what are the pros and cons here? Pros: borrower qualifications are lower than with banks. The application process is very fast and easy. We love the fact that the credit score requirements are very low, and you have multiple avenues of customer support through email, chat, or on the phone, and so it's and also through the website. Okay. On the negative side, the drawbacks: rates can sometimes be expensive, and their repayments are required frequently. So after evaluating FUNDBOX on tens of criteria, including the loan variety, the loan amount, generosity, the cost, the reputation, the customer service, we assigned the company a score of 9/10. And our judgment, our evaluation was confirmed by expert reviews and even consumer reviews. So, for example, we're showing you on the screen right now, you can see on Trustpilot, you have a 2,812 reviews as of the date of today's show. And those reviews have, in aggregate, they have assigned a score of 4.7, an excellent score based on Trustpilot standards, an excellent score of 4.7 over 5 to FUNDBOX. So you can see that our judgment has been corroborated by thousands of other judgments out there in terms of the quality, in terms of the process, the lending process of a FUNDBOX. So it's a great company to borrow from, not only from your business for a business term loan perspective, but also for a business line of credit. Let me talk to you now about the eligibility criteria. Folks, again, I'm speaking to you in this show about an enormous business loan from FUNDBOX. Maximum loan amount, $150,000 here, okay? So the amount is consequential. We're not speaking about 4 digits or 3 digits here. No, we're speaking about 6 digits, okay? So what are the criteria for eligibility? So as I said earlier, the business must be based in the United States. The business owners must be either U.S. citizens or holders of green cards. They must be permanent residents, okay? FICO score is 600. So if you have a 575 or 550, guess what? You can try to find a co-borrower, a co-founder, or someone else. So if you are a solopreneur, you want to have a business, right? And then you want to incorporate this for sure. And then you want to, if your spouse has a better credit than you, better credit score, you can just sort of join forces here and have co-borrow here. In terms of annual revenue, they want you to have a 100,000 minimum in per year in terms of revenue, not net income revenue. So that's about $9,000, a little bit of $9,000 per month. And you got to have business checking account. And I'll explain why you need the checking account. And they want you to be in business for 6 months. So this is pretty cool. So, and in addition to that, FUNDBOX wants you to have a few other things. They want you to provide a business credit score. Now they can actually check it out themselves, but if you are proactive and you provide that will accelerate things. So this is fantastic. They will check your business credit score if you have one, or 2 or 3, because they will check not only Dun & Bradstreet, but also Equifax and Experian and other platforms such as the SBFE and the NASCM. Okay, in terms of they want to have an updated business plan. This is important. If you want to get the maximum loan amount or even anything in between, you got to have an updated business plan. Very important. And in some cases, they might ask for collateral, even though the loan itself, this loan I'm talking to you about, is an unsecured loan. Okay, so no collateral or no personal guarantee at all. And in terms of, besides all the credit score, the annual revenue, the business plan, the collateral, they might want to get any commercial leases from you, copies of those leases, business licenses and permits, personal and business tax returns, business insurance plans, payroll records, incorporation documents, and so on and so forth. Now let's talk about use of loan proceeds. So again, folks, I'm speaking to you about a large amount here, a large loan amount from FUNDBOX. A large business loan amount from FUNDBOX. Maximum loan approved, $150,000. Okay, and this is a loan that, of course, FUNDBOX wants to know what you're going to use the money for. That makes sense, right? So you have several ways to justify that. In the past, they have approved entrepreneurs who wanted to use the money for specific purposes. For example, routine expenses other than payroll, inventory, hiring employees, or even training them. You want to train existing employees. Marketing or advertising, purchasing equipment or vehicles, new space or remodeling, rainy day fund, covering unexpected expenses, refinancing business debts, and other. You can see that the loan proceeds here were geared toward 2 types of major categories. When we speak about expenses, you have 2 major expense categories. So you have working capital, so everything that revolves around hiring employees, purchasing inventory, marketing, or advertising. This relates to working capital. Why? Because working capital equals short-term assets minus short-term liabilities. And when we speak about short-term assets, we have things like what? Inventory, right? We have things like accounts receivables. So those are part of short-term assets, and short-term liabilities are debts that you must extinguish within a year. So those expenses, payroll, inventory, hiring employees, marketing, advertising, those things that constitute working capital uses. And then you have what I call the long-term uses. For example, purchasing equipment or vehicle. Those are long-term assets that you expect to use in the company for more than a year. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you an idea. So when you fill out the application and FUNDBOX is asking you what are you going to use the money for, at least you have an idea of what will work. What kind of fund use will pass muster by a FUNDBOX. Okay, I'll be right back. After this, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. I'm still very happy because I'm speaking to you today about a humongous, a titanic business loan from FUNDBOX. Maximum loan amount $150,000. Okay, and it's about time you graduated from the small amounts that you were getting in the past, the small loan amounts. We want to forget about those teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini business loans that people get and you can't really expand your business. Now it's about time to actually be a little serious and go for the big enchilada. And basically here there is evidence that FUNDBOX requires from you to approve the 150K maximum loan amount. So what is the evidence needed? They might want to have information about collateral. If the loan must be collateralized. Again, this loan is strictly unsecured, but in some cases they might actually want to have some collateral from you. They might want to have some information, some evidence about your business operating time or your business operational history, how long you've been in business, and how do you prove that? You can prove that very easily by showing the lender your articles of incorporation if you are a corporation, an S corp or C corp, your articles of organization if you're an LLC, right? Because those will actually, and also you can show your accounting records, because your accounting records will tell the lender when you started operating, when you started making money, or where you started spending money on behalf of the business. You also, so speaking of that, so the financial statements and reports. So if you use accounting software such as QuickBooks or Xero or Wave or all the other accounting software tools, all you have to do is just link. You want to integrate your accounting software to FUNDBOX, or just print the documents out and show them to the lender. Okay. And when we speak about financial statements and reports, we're talking about what? We're talking about four major financial statements. So balance sheets, statement of profit and loss, also called statement of income. We have the statement of cash flows, and then we have the statement of stockholders' equity. You also want to show evidence of profit and revenue. Again, as I said earlier, FUNDBOX wants you to show revenue at least $100,000 per year. And if there is a guarantee, so if your business is a subsidiary of a big organization, FUNDBOX may need the parent organization to give a guarantee for your subsidiary before it gives the business line of credit to the subsidiary. So it depends upon the situation you're in. And they also pay attention to economic ratios, things like debt to equity ratio, current ratio, debt service coverage ratio, and fixed charge coverage ratio. We have covered this on other shows, so I'm not going to go into details here. I want to talk to you now about how to apply for this massive business loan from FUNDBOX. We are speaking about a maximum loan amount of $150,000. This is worth it. With FUNDBOX, you have a bevy of application options. You can apply via email. You can apply on the web, on their website. You can apply over the phone, or you can do mail-in. Sometimes they accept mail-in. They can even accept you to fax the information to them. So I'm going to show you, there are four snapshots I want to show you. So basically, you have to provide the basic info so you can sign up. So you want to talk about your business and yourself. And next, you want to talk about the amount that you're looking for, the amount sought, and the use of funds. They want to know what you're using the funds for. Remember what I told you earlier? You just have to choose an option that works for you, whether you want to use the money for working capital or long-term asset purchasing, whether it is a car or equipment. Then you want to provide a little bit of background about the business. And on the fourth snapshot, they want to have more information about the business. So the rest from here, the rest is strictly about accounting software and bank account. As I told you, FUNDBOX has been very innovative. We love this approach because they want you to integrate your bank account and software with their system. That way they can control your transactional history. It seems a little invasive, but guess what? They're giving you up to $150,000 to help you expand. So all you can do is show a little bit of transparency. So this is the reason why they don't care about your credit history that much. They care about now. They don't care about the past, because if you really think about it, a credit score is what? A credit score, as the name implies, comes from your credit history, past. Whereas FUNDBOX is focusing on the present and the future. So they have access to your transactional history, to your financial statements. So they know exactly what's going on. They know if your balance sheet is lethargic or very active, or if your sales are, very, very dynamic. And the thing here is that they have a list of software that are compatible with FUNDBOX. So you have Clio, eAbility, FreshBooks Classic, FreshBooks New, Harvest, Invoice ASAP, Jobber, Cashew, QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks Online, Sage 1, Xero, and Zoho. So as long as you have one of those software tools, you're fine. So you just have to link it. You have to link the software to FUNDBOX, and you link your business bank account, and you're good to go. Let me give you a few additional tips for you, a few pro tips for you to actually apply successfully for this massive business loan from FUNDBOX. Again, folks, we're not speaking about small amounts here, okay? We're speaking about $150,000, which is a lot, especially if you are a micro business or a small business. This is a lifesaver. This could be a lifesaver. This can make you sort of replenish your inventory for the next 6 months, or pay some bills, hire more staff, all that kind of stuff. So let me give you a few pro tips. One thing you want to do when you apply for a loan with FUNDBOX is that make sure you gather your business documents. Very important. When I'm speaking about business documents, I'm speaking about your tax returns, your business tax returns. As a matter of fact, you also want to gather your personal documents also, because in some cases, FUNDBOX might want to see exactly what's going on in your personal life. That's if you have not done a good job at segregating your personal affairs from your business affairs. So you want to gather things like business and personal tax returns, business and personal bank statements, business financial statements, and most importantly, business legal documents, the articles of incorporation, the articles of organization, the commercial lease, the franchise agreements, if applicable. Those are what I call foundational documents. You got to have them ready, because the lenders such as FUNDBOX, they spend time perusing those documents. You also want to have a business plan that I explained about this before. You want to elucidate your financial situation, your business's financial situation in the business plan, including things like forward-looking statements. Those are statements such as projected financial data, where you were given an idea of where you see the company in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. But again, please make sure that you are candid and upfront about your financial condition, your business's financial condition. Do not lie on a business loan application, or on any loan application for that matter. No, because sooner or later they're going to find out, and this is just a bad way to kick off a business relationship. Okay. And one thing you also want to understand is that if you don't get a loan from FUNDBOX, you have options. We have covered several lenders on this show, business lenders and personal lenders on this show, and you will get a loan from another player. Okay. And one thing I also want to say, I'll give you an example. We have covered recently a lender called M1, and they can grant you up to $100,000 in business loan. So that's pretty good, right? And you also want to make sure that you are demonstrating sufficient cash flow. So you have enough money coming in to repay the loan from FUNDBOX. The good thing here is that because they have access to your bank account and your accounting records, they can see what's going on in your operational history. They can see if you're making money or you're losing money. All right, folks. This is it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about FUNDBOX, a massive business loan from FUNDBOX, maximum loan amount $150,000. And I've spoken to you, I've given you some loan facts. I've given you a synopsis of the lender, the eligibility criteria, the use of loan proceeds, the evidence needed, right? We have spoken also about how to apply for this loan, and I've given you a few pro tips. Thank you so much for your approval. Thank you so much for your attention, and I really appreciate it. I will see you next time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.